Hi, and Merry Christmas. Or with that picture, maybe we should be saying Merry Crispmas. We all love them, don't we? So why don't we retell the Christmas story using crisps? You know, something amazing happened that first Christmas. The world changed. It got a whole new flavour. Christians believe the one true God, the real McCoy, was born as a child to show us the way to live and the way to God. Let me tell you how it happened. One day, in a quiet village in Israel, a young woman called Mary was going about her business when an angel appeared from nowhere. Mary quavered. "Don't be afraid," said the angel. "You've been chosen. You'll be the mother of God's own son. He'll be a sensation. He will save people. Some will think he's nuts, but he'll be God's promised king, the one everyone has been waiting for." Fast forward 9 months, and there's a new tax set by the government, which hits the poor hardest. That sounds familiar. Everyone has to walk a long way to their place of birth to register and pay. From Nazareth, where Mary and Joseph lived, to Bethlehem was a journey of 80 miles. On foot, pregnant. They were pretty frazzled when they got to Joseph's town of Bethlehem. They knocked at the first door. It opened. Dorito. That one's not great, is it? Opened onto a full house. No room here. That happened again and again. Eventually, an innkeeper showed them to his stable, and Jesus was born and put in a manger, a feeding trough for animals. Someone did find room after all. You know how a crisp packet can feel full, but in fact there's lots of space. Some crisp packets are 72% empty. It's like that with us. Our lives might feel full of stuff, but who might you make room for this Christmas? An elderly neighbour, even if they're grumpy with you. Someone at school who's often left out. A friend who's sad. The innkeeper made room for Jesus. Let's add a bit more flavour to the story. There were shepherds on a hill outside Bethlehem, salt of the earth, watching over their lambs. Chilly in the night air, maybe baking something over a fire. Night security men, not much of a stake in the world of the powerful. But they soon turned chicken. A light appeared in the sky. What's it doing? It's getting closer. It's getting brighter. It's angels. "Don't be afraid," said the angels as they quavered too. "Good news. Your Saviour is born down there in Bethlehem, Jesus the King." So they skipped off to see the child and worship and spread the news. Meanwhile, far to the east, men who studied the stars saw a strange sign in the sky. Saturn, the planet of Israel, close to Jupiter, planet of kings. So close they looked like a single star. A new king in Israel? They'd heard stories about that. So they packed up gifts, not knickknacks, but great treasures, and set out across the deep-ridged desert. Many weeks later, dry and roasted by the sun, they reached the royal palace in Jerusalem. That's where you'd expect to find a king. But this wasn't the right king. This was the palace of Herod, who had his own family killed when they looked like being more popular than he was. Herod was a monster, munching a new king, and he'd not be happy. Herod hoped the wise men wouldn't twig, "Let me know where he is, so that I can worship him too." But they weren't called wise men for nothing, and they kept Jesus a secret. Just a few miles further, and the stars showed them where Jesus was. They gave him gifts, incense, myrrh, and gold, in wonder at this child, the promised king, the Son of God. Do you know what crisps are made from? Potatoes, of course. If you put one small potato in the ground, it grows and makes loads more. And so from that small beginning, now the Christmas story is told all over the world, and millions of people know Jesus, follow him and love him. All sorts of shapes and sizes and flavours. Christians believe that Jesus was God's gift to the world. He is worth all we can give. The love of Mary, the excitement of the shepherds, the song of the angels, the precious gifts of the wise men. They think the truth is crisp. Christ really is someone precious. Merry Christmas.